When bidding plumbing projects, you need a spreadsheet that makes it easy and fast to assemble everything required to provide an accurate and consistent estimate. The MEP Academy Plumbing Estimating Spreadsheet allows you to bid small projects to multi-million-dollar projects with accuracy and consistency. We'll show you how this spreadsheet can save you time and money by providing everything needed to build a successful plumbing company. One of the first things to do after notifying all of your subcontractors and vendors is to fill out the estimating spreadsheet by recording all of the plumbing fixtures that need to be labored and quoted. Here is where the plumbing fixture page of the spreadsheet allows you to list all of the most commonly used plumbing fixtures and their unit of labor, along with 3 columns to compare vendor pricing. All of the most common plumbing fixtures are already listed along with their plumbing fixture value that will be used to inform you about the total sales price per fixture and the total material labor cost per fixture. Parameters that you should use to compare one project against another to determine if the current project is in line with previous similar projects. Just enter the count from your drawings. Once you count them, you put the count here, you put your unit labor value, and it gives you your total labor, which carries to your summary sheet. You put in the costs per fixture, and it'll give you the total, which will carry forward. You can compare the 3 vendors by putting their pricing in here. Let's say one was at $300, another was $275, and here was your vendor at $250. You can name these 3 vendors anything you want, and then you had wall hung water closets. They say 6 of those. Let's say 4 hours a piece. You got 24 hours. Here's your $300 unit. Gives you $1,800. You can compare pricing by putting them in here, and you see over here it starts to count your total fixture value, which we'll use to calculate the parameters we discussed. Now we can jump over to the labor sheet. We can see that we have plumbing field labor and we have plumbing shop labor. They're both set up the same. You have your categories of general foreman, foreman, journeyman, and 5 years of apprenticeship. You can set this up any way you want. This is set for like a union contractor. You got straight time, time and a half, double time. You have the base wage, and then vacation, health and welfare, union benefits, and your base wage with benefits. And then all your employer required taxes, liability insurance, and you get a subtotal. And then you can put indirect burden. You have a calculator down here that will calculate your different burdens. This one over here is for the foreman, journeyman trucks. What's your annual cost? Your vehicle insurance, gas, maintenance cost. It comes up with a total annual cost, and then you put in your total billed hours, and it'll tell you how much your burden rate is for that particular category. So there's several burdens. There's a burden calculation number 1, which can be for your non-foreman, non-journeyman trucks, small tools, safety training, service clothing, hats, gloves, whatever it is that you're trying to recover in indirect burden, and that will go on to your labor rate to come up with a total billable rate with burden. And then when you're bidding a project, you just pick your crew size, which is this column here. I got 1 general foreman. Let's say I got 1 foreman. And you can see the crew rate here is changing. It's telling you how many people are in the crew. And then let's say I got a 1-year apprentice and a 5-year apprentice, and a 1-year apprentice. And then I got a 4-person crew, and my crew rate 6570. Now that carries over to the front sheet on your summary sheet, and it'll show up here. You can see that 6570. It shows on the summary sheet. Now we can jump over to the plumbing assemblies. You can use any one of these buttons to just jump there quickly. And we can see the plumbing assembly sheet is where you normally have all your pipe, valves, and fittings around a fixture. So like a water closet. You usually use the same fittings over and over again. So this saves you a lot of time if you have it all pre-filled out with the cost per each fitting an item and the labor attached to it. And then all you do is ask for how many of those trim items you want. If I want 2 of them, it's going to automatically give me the dollar amount and the total labor for 2 water closets to be trimmed out. And you have all types of fixtures in here, urinals, sinks, and you can put all the parts and pieces that you normally use, and you can make your own assemblies. There's blank spaces in here for additional assemblies. You click this here to go back to the top. You can see we got water closets, urinals, sinks, showers, tubs, and then you can just name any one of these and make whatever you want. This just makes estimating fast and quick, because these are the typical items that you take off over and over again. So there's no reason to be recreating a bill of materials when it's the same bill of materials every time. So this will just save you on time and money. Next, we can jump to plumbing equipment. This is just like plumbing fixtures. Just put in your plumbing equipment. In this case, water heaters, storage tanks, pumps, whatever you have, list over here in the description. Put the quantity of them you have and put how many hours you want to install each one, and it'll give you a total. So in this case, 4 times 8 gives you 32 hours. And if you require a start and test time, there's a category for that. These hours carry to the front sheet where it applies to the labor rate. And then over here you can list 3 different vendors and the quotes. Now the things this spreadsheet will do automatically is select the lowest bidder. So if I have 3 bids and I have one that's lower than the other 3, it automatically picks it. But you can override it if this low guy doesn't have a complete scope. You can just override it and pick whatever you want, and that'll be the overriding factor. What you don't want to do is put a 0 in here, and it'll give you a red indication, because normally it carries whatever the lowest is. So if I put 0 there and 1200 here, it's going to carry 0, because it's looking for the lowest value in these 3 categories, assuming that you always want to carry the lowest bidder of your vendors to be the low bidder yourself. But you can override that. So if you see a red, know that that's not the thing to do. What you want to do is right click and clear the contents, and then that won't have any effect on the value. Now we'll just quickly explain some of the other sheets that support your total bid, and that's your subs. List all your subs here: plumbing installation, water treatment, chlorination, miscellaneous, excavation and backfill. You have some at the bottom here where you can just put whatever you want. And then over rentals, different rentals, scissor lifts, welders, backhoes. You put the quantity of the rental period. So over here, quantity of scissor lifts, 1. If you're going to rent it for 6 months, put 6 months. And the rental rate, it'll give you the total. Same down here. If you have a crane, you can put that information in, and all this will carry forward to the summary sheet. Same with general conditions. If you're on the site, here's your management team, project managers, how many hours, project engineer, superintendent, quality control. Whatever you want to list, you can change these titles, put the hours they're going to be there, the duration, the hourly rate. It'll give you a total, and it'll bring all that to your summary sheet in the front. Same over here, there's non-reoccurring costs for your construction office, if you ever have one. This is for maybe a construction trailer. These are non-reoccurring. The recurring one down here will be the construction trailer. Utilities. These are things that reoccur monthly. And this over here will be your non-reoccurring, so it's usually a lump sum. The cost to mobilize, demobilize, set up phones, whatever. And then next, we can jump over to engineering. If you do any design build, you can put in your hourly rates for your different design team, your CAD designer. Then over here, bid notice, you can put that you notified which vendors, who you talked to, are they bidding yes or no, and the method by which you sent the documents. Here's a spec review sheet. Over here you put the spec section and a description of what you found in the specs. This is for quick reference. And then over here there's a risk assessment sheet. Now this is important if you want to have different levels of approval in your company to approve going after a bid, because bidding projects are expensive. So this will rate them. Design build being the best one, and you being the only bidder, that's the best scenario. The worst scenario is plan and spec and multiple GCs. Your risk is higher because your chance of winning is lower. So each one of these will rate it. You just put an X, as it says here, in the category, and it'll start to give you points, right? So you can see design build to owner is only 1. And if we took that out and we said, no, it's plan and spec, multiple GCs, that gives you 10 points. That's a higher risk. Once you fill all this out, general contractor, owner, engineer, liquidated damages, and you put that information in there, it'll give you a final score. And you can change the point values. They're over here for whatever you want the point values to be. And then at the bottom, once again, it'll say your total score, and then whether it needs approval, if it runs into a certain range, if it gets higher and higher, it needs higher and higher levels of approval. So it'll go up to your vice president, your president, wherever the top is approval person. We can jump over to plumbing summary, and this is where all your plumbing labor and hours come. This is where you would put your linear feet of your domestic water, your sanitary waste and vents, storm drain, gas piping. Put the linear feet in here. Let's say I had 1,200 linear feet, and let's say it was $30,000, and I had 100 hours. So let's say 200 hours. You can see it's going to measure linear feet per man day. It says you're doing 48 linear feet a man day, which is probably too fast. Let's say it was 300 hours to get more realistic. And you can tell you, it'll give you the price of the material per foot. It'll give you the price of labor and material per foot. And then over here, you can adjust it. You say, well, 32 linear feet per man day is way too fast. Let's slow that down to 20. It says the difference is 180 hours. You need to add 180 hours to the bid. You would put that down here. It's going to tell you it doesn't match. Your productivity adjustment, which this is over here, does not match. So if you put the 180 in, then it matches. It turns green, saying what you said that you wanted to adjust the labor to is now equal to what you put in the bid. You have to carry this forward because this is just a calculator. It doesn't add into the project until you put it down here. And then here's where your specialties carry forward, your equipment labor, your plumbing assemblies, your plumbing fixture labor, all that carries into here. Then you add your material handling, you put it as a percentage, it'll give you hours, consumables, punch list, cleanup, and then detail it. There's a detailing calculator over here that you can use, and once again it tells you it doesn't match because you're not matching the percentage. If I put the same percentage, then it matches. 20.7 is what you said you wanted, and that's what you get. And then down here there's some shop time, shop hours. That's your plumbing summary. Now we can jump over to the main summary, and this is where you'll put the project name, address, who it bids to, the delivery method, plan and spec, the bid date, proposal number if you keep track of your proposals by number. You can put the square footage of the building. This will be used for parameters that we'll show you on the dashboard. And the story and the fixture count you see is coming across automatically from your plumbing fixture sheet. And this is where everything totals up. You don't normally put much information in here. This is just a summary page. So all your labor hours are going to carry forward for your plumbing shop, your plumbing field, plumbing detailing, supervision. Your plumbing material will carry forward from your plumbing summary sheet. Any start and test hours you put in, we put 4 hours. You can put the rate here, and that'll give you your total for start and test. Any engineering, equipment and fixtures will carry forward here. You'll get a total equipment and fixture cost. Your subcontracts, your insulation, chlorination, that all lists here. It tells you your total subcontracts. Here's your general conditions, your management, your non-reoccurring, reoccurring costs, subsistence and travel, plumbing rentals, crane rental, material and equipment tax, permits, small tools. This stuff you can name on your own and put values in here. And then that's going to give you a subtotal. And then you can put a contingency. You can change the contingency to whatever you want. 0 if you don't want any contingency, and then here's the cost with contingency, and then you can put your whatever your typical overhead percentage is and your profit percentage, and it automatically calculates those for you, and it'll tell you over here what your actual margin is and your margin amount and your actual markup, the two being different depending on how you're looking at it, and then the total cost per square foot for this project. If you like that video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.